welcome back guys. We're gonna film something a little bit different today. I am going to cook. And I don't actually like cooking. I prefer eating, to be honest. Now, if you didn't know, my mum is Filipino and she is from the capital city, Manila. And she is from a very small part called Tarlac City, or she would call it Tarlac City. I've been there maybe like 5-6 times, and the one thing you can take away from the Philippines is the food is amazing. So today I'm going to teach you how to make spring rolls, or lumpia, Shanghai lumpia, spring rolls, egg roll, whatever you want to call it. This is the Filipino version. A little disclaimer, there won't be any measurements or weights of stuff in this video simply because my mum does not work with weights. She just kind of chucks stuff in and it works. So I hope you can follow along, but this is what you're going to need to make some spring rolls. So first we need to cut our veggies. You need to cut each of these into very, very small pieces so that when you do wrap your lumpia, you don't have any sharp bits poking out and breaking holes into the wrapping. So I'm gonna start off with spring onions for spring rolls. So just take off the bowl, we don't need those. And we're gonna chop these up really finely. So I'm just using a scissor action to try and chop these up. So we're gonna get a massive bowl, it's my favorite one, and just put them in there. I'm switching knives because beans are a little bit more crunchy, so they need a sharper knife. And again, we've got to chop these up. Okay, I'm going to add that to our bowl as well. Nice bowl of green. And now for our carrot. Just going to peel it real quick. I'm not going to use the whole thing. I'm probably just going to use this much. And it's easiest to use a grater because carrots are very difficult to chop up. I think that will do. And if that doesn't look summery, I don't know what does. Now that we've got all the veggies in, we can add the meat. So like I said before, you can take beef or pork or a mixture of both. I thought I'd go with pork today. For this amount of vegetables that we have, I think I'm going to use about half a packet of this. So you just kind of judge it by eye. You don't want to have too much meat so that you can't see the vegetables, and you don't want too many vegetables that there's not a meaty taste. I suggest that you take off any jewelry right now because it's about to get messy. So what I'm going to do is mix it up with my hands and see if there's enough vegetables, if there's enough meat, and see if we need some more. You want to see the oranges, the greens, and the meat. If you've got too much of either, it doesn't look pretty. Make sure you get all the stuff around the edges. Because pork is so fatty, it stays like this shape, one big lump. So it's moist enough. If your sausage mix doesn't stay like this, you might need to add some egg to wet it. So I'm going to rinse my hands again so then we can add some seasoning. So you want to add quite a lot of pepper. And the only thing with making spring rolls is there is no way to test it until they're made. So you just have to kind of guesstimate. That's a lot of pepper. And this is pork, so you don't need as much salt. And again, mix it up. So now that's done, what you normally do is leave this in the fridge for maybe like overnight to marinate. But because I'm making this now, I'm gonna go straight into the wrapping, and that's the fun part. So we get a chopping board out, put my lumpia wrappings to my left, I put my meat up in front of me, and the plate that I'm gonna put them on over here. And what you need also is a small bowl with an egg in it. So that is gonna go just here. So you get your first lumpia wrapping, place it in front of you, and you want one of the points to be towards you. You get a bit of meat. This much is about right, like that. And you want to use the point, wrap it around once, and tuck it back like this. So what you're doing is creating a really tight seal because you're pulling it back. Then you want to roll up to the 2 points, fold the corners in like this. Then with your egg white, just the white, dip your finger in it, put it on the point, and continue rolling. And it should stick to itself. And this is a spring roll. So again, meat in the corner, shape it, get the tip, roll forwards, and pull it back to make it taut. Roll it once, fold in the edges, Get some egg white, put it on the tip, and continue rolling. Like that. This one was a little bit better. It's quite uniform, this one. Now my mum obviously makes tighter, more uniform spring rolls than I do, because she's had years of experience, but I guess I'm learning. And when we make spring rolls, she normally uses like a lot more meat than I do. And we sit there all afternoon making these spring rolls, because normally we just put them in the freezer and we keep them. Oh, look at the little sausage. Look at that. Right, I'm nearly finished, and I just wanted to show you what would happen if you cut your wrapping into triangles. So I've got squares, but if it was a triangle, you do the exact same thing. The reason why you might want to do triangles is to make your wrapper go further, so you'd actually cut this in half so it wouldn't be doubled up. Same thing, you'd put your lumpia meat in the middle, fold in the edges, tucking near the bottom, applying your egg, rolling, and tucking, like so. Like that. Exactly the same thing, just using half the amount of wrapping. I prefer a lot of wrapping on mine because then you get more crunch, don't you? So that's finished, and this is my plate of freshly rolled spring rolls. I think I'm getting pretty good at these now. When the egg starts to set, these things should not like open up. They should be quite stuck down. And after this, they're ready for frying. What you can do, if you're not going to fry them today, you can throw them in the freezer. They fry just as good straight from frozen, but I'm going to eat them now. The best way to fry them is with a nice big wok, Asian style. You want to use enough oil so that half of the spring roll is coated when it's in the oil. So you want to wait for your oil to get really hot. The minute you touch a spring roll to the oil, it should start sizzling. So we test it like that. Perfect. So you chuck them in. What you want to do is turn the heat down to a medium heat so that they don't start burning. And flip them occasionally, because the pastry does cook quite quick, but what you're trying to do is cook the meat inside. Look at that, golden brown. So once they are golden brown, you can remove them from the fryer and just place them on a bit of kitchen towel to drain them a little bit. So here they are. Here are my spring rolls, handmade. Absolutely amazing, if I do say so myself. So I'm going to show you what to eat them with. So most people want to eat their spring rolls with sweet and sour sauce, but that is a big no-no. This is the Philippines. You need the proper dipping sauce. So I'm going to show you how to make some. So what you need first is some soy sauce, dark soy sauce. And you want to put that in a bowl, only a little bit, about that much, just a smidge. And then you want to get some lemon juice. For every one of soy sauce, you probably need about 2 lemon juices, which is about that much. Mix it together and taste it. And now this sauce should taste sour, but still salty. You still want to taste the soy sauce. And because I like spice, I use some crushed chili flakes. You only need a little bit, like that. And voila, that is your dipping sauce. Just get your spring roll, dip it in the sauce, and enjoy. Just how my mum makes them. Hope you try out this recipe. If it goes wrong, blame it on my mum, not me. Salamat for watching, and hopefully I'll see you in the future with more Filipino recipes. Bye.